People's Club. Come on in, where blue runs deep.
So, we're going to start with a quick and easy one. Okay? Sum up this season in exactly 3 words.
Oh,
Go on.
3 words. Absolute total mediocrity.
Hey, that's the mediocrity. I thought I was going to get a big swear word at the end there, but I didn't. What about you, Mark? Sum up this season in 3 words, mate.
Yeah, I was going to squeeze one of mine was going to be mediocrity, underperforming, disappointed.
So underperforming, disappointing mediocrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go with absolute dog shit, but you guys have been you guys have been a bit more polite than me. But yeah, it has really has.
Yeah,
You
but I
know.
don't think it was there for a long period. Up until the last 8 games, it was actually we were probably doing okay for what we were where we should be. We're probably but
Yeah,
the last 8 games have just been dire,
yeah,
absolutely dire.
it has, mate. It
Yeah.
has.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. Looking back at last August, how do how did our early season expectations match up with the reality of the 13th place finish we're in now? What you expected? Did you expect better? Where does it stand? I'll start with you, Mark.
Yeah. So for the first half of the season, up until AFCON, I kind of felt that they exceeded my expectations. If you'll remember, the team came over and played in the summer series in Chicago, and the Blue Room was there, and they were taking questions in the crowd, similar to what we're doing now. And I said, Um, I think it's reasonable to expect eighth to 10th place finish, which is a marked improvement. And we were on our way there. If you remember, the hangup was that we were not winning matches at home. The Hill Dick didn't feel like a fortress. It still doesn't now. Um, but that was really our only hangup. For me, I feel like we were playing above expectations, and that this I felt like I didn't feel the blade above us the way that we had in seasons prior. So I was pleased up until AFCON, and then after AFCON, they just didn't seem right. And then shortly after that, we lost Grealish, and then as you know, this year we conceded um, we left so many points on the table that we should have had, and the wheels fell off. So yeah, I would say ultimately in the end, below my expectations, but up until the middle of the season, my expectations were exceeded actually.
All right. What about you, Nick? Are we
Yeah,
are we
I
where you
think the
thought we'd
start
be?
we're a bit below. I thought the start of the season maybe 10th would have been where we would end up.
Yeah.
I hope for better. We got worse. Um, but I think I did wonder whether the hierarchy didn't want to get into Europe. And once you take that momentum away by removing the possibility of getting to Europe, it's difficult to get it back. And maybe the last 8 games were they didn't want to be as bad as they were, but they didn't want to go into Europe yet.
All right.
And I think possibly because of the way the PSR rules work in Europe, our 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 turnover is not good enough yet to be able to allow us to be able to compete in a European setting, and it would have affected our league positioning because we only have 70% of turnover to be able to spend before we breach PSR rules in European games. And
Okay.
so I wondered if they didn't want to go into Europe. I don't know whether that's but once you take away the momentum, it's gone. You can't. It's so difficult to get it back.
Yeah.
And
True.
if they think so maybe someone said to Moyes, just go through the last games, do what you can, but if you don't get to Europe, don't worry about it. So we carried on playing the same players.
Maybe.
Yeah.
one of the reasons.
I don't know.
We don't know what happens up
I don't
top,
know. I
do we?
just don't.
You know.
Yeah, I don't know whether the maybe they're looking for excuses for them for what's gone on, but um it was the last 8 games were just depressing. It was like going back 3 seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true, true.
agreed.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it though, what's disappointed me is we finished the same spot last season, correct? And we're a point better off, but we're also 130 million in the bank worse off.
Yeah,
You know, I think that's the main,
yeah,
that's the thing that's striking people, isn't it? That okay, if we hadn't have spent all that money, we just spent maybe half that money or whatever, then you could sort of say, well, listen, we didn't strengthen the team anyway from last season. We didn't do this. We didn't. It would have excuses for it, but when we did
yeah,
strengthen the team, then you've got to ask the question, didn't you? We spent 130 million and we got one additional point. All right, he didn't have the first half of the season before, last season, so he wasn't there the full season. So, but
yeah.
that would be my take on it anyway. But let's move on from that now. A question about the stadium. Okay, did the pressure of moving into the Hill Dickinson Stadium weigh a little bit too heavily on the squad, or is that just an easy excuse for poor performances at home?
I don't. I, I don't think that pressure of playing there is the problem. I think the other clubs coming to Hill Dickinson Stadium, playing in a fantastic stadium, lifts their game.
Yeah,
And I don't think we were good enough to be able to compete when they lifted their game. And so I think it's more that we weren't good enough at times, rather than the pressure.
yeah,
And it exposed our weaknesses because you go. I mean, I know if you go and play at a really nice football ground, you're excited to be at that ground. You play better,
yeah,
put more effort in.
yeah, yeah. I think so. What about you, Mark? What do you think, mate? Excuses, or there was actual pressure
Yeah,
greater in your ground?
I mean, there's always pressure if you're earning £100,000 a week for 2 hours of performing. I mean, there's always pressure, but I don't think that we're jinxed. I think it was just pure happenstance. You know, we underperformed in our new stadium. I don't think that's a viable excuse. I know that the team feeds off of the crowd. I don't know if the crowd responded the same way that they would have at Goodison, and of course there's a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Everything sounds and feels different, and maybe the natural lighting, the way it comes in through the stadium, that can play a factor. I don't know, but I don't think that's a viable excuse for professionals playing in conditions that
yeah,
we would kill to have.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, Goodison lost its fortress a while back as well, didn't it? So it's not
Oh
like
yeah.
we were trying to transfer recent seasons from Goodison to Hill Dickinson because there wasn't.
We didn't.
Yeah,
We didn't want to do that.
yeah, exactly. So I think we've won one more this season, though, haven't we? Than we've won at Goodison for
Yep.
the last 2 seasons. So
Yep.
you know, it's not a great improvement, but it's still an improvement, isn't it? You know, to win one more at home
Yeah.
than we won at Goodison the last couple of seasons. So yeah, fair enough on that one.
We really struggle to deliver more than half a game
Yeah,
in any game, and that's the consistency is just not there. And I don't know what the answer to that is, but that's what David Moyes should be earning his keep, sorting that sort of stuff out. But that's where we play half a game the first half or the second half in any game.
oh, yeah, makes sense actually.
Do
Makes
you
sense.
think that the club is being transparent with us? I mean, do you think that there's stuff going on this behind the scenes that we don't know about that would affect his decision making, strategic wise and lineup wise, that would result in the way that things have been, or do
Nah,
you think that they're being forthcoming?
nah. Moyes' mentality is he wants control of everything, doesn't he? He doesn't like
Yeah.
Yeah.
directors of football. He doesn't want it. So I believe he's controlled everything because that's the sort of person he is, and I don't think you could change him. And I think that was part of the parcel as well. You know, I want to say in the
Yeah.
transfers, what I do on the pitch is my decisions. I don't want any interference. He's that sort of manager, you know. So
Yeah.
I don't think there's been any pressure from the top or any
Well, I don't
manipulation
blame
from
him
the
for
top.
that.
So yeah, well, listen, no, he is. But
Yeah.
these days, a lot of the young managers they don't want to do the transfers. They don't want to, you know, get involved in all that sort of stuff. They prefer the director of footballs. He's just opposite to that, isn't he? And he's always been against it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't believe there's not much going on at the top, but you know, yeah, it is on that one. So yeah,
Yeah. It's
anyway,
frustrating. Very
it is.
so frustrating. Everything's all so frustrating.
It is, mate. It is. Anyway, let's move on and talk about a few of the players from this season now. You know, let's talk back and you know we'll start with Keenan Dewsbury Hall, 8 goals, I think 4 assists. Arguably one of our players of the season. But do you think Moyes run him into the ground by the end and in the running? Start with you, Mark.
Yeah, 100%. That is tangent to my issue of no subs and not developing the bench. He did run him into the ground. I mean, and to be fair, the kid was a racehorse for 94 minutes a game, but you know when you're carrying that kind of load, something's going to eventually break. And we saw that happen like the last 3-4 matches for sure with those goals being conceded. Now that's not to say that it fell on him, but with like we said, Illy not being up to snuff and Grealish being out, it's easy to collapse on KDH, and I think that happened.
What about you, mate? Contender for goal of the, well, player of the season, Dewsbury Hall, or what would you think? Been one of the better ones?
Well, yeah, it's very low bar, isn't it? So he's done quite well with the low bar.
Yeah, I mean, for the centre midfielder, 8 goals and 4 assists isn't too bad, but
No, it's right. No,
I would like to see more assists because that's his main job. Right, he's scoring
yeah,
goals, but his main job is to assist, and I think everybody's failed at that this season, haven't they? But you
yeah.
know, do you think Moyes ran him into the ground a bit towards the end as well? Or?
No, I don't know. I mean, like I say, in the world of pygmies, he's been a giant. But I think the rest of the squad have not. I think he's done his part. He could have. We'd like to see a few more goals from him, but then he did have a period out when he was injured, so he maybe would have got 10, 11 if he'd been the whole season.
Yeah,
Um, and so I think he's done his part. I think he's done what was expected of him. He's been fairly solid in the midfield as well, tackling, hasn't he? You're putting tackles in and um, doing his bit. But I think he's been let down by other players. And I'm not talking about Garner necessarily in the middle. I think he's been let down by, well, maybe not let down, but with the injury to um, what's his name, the centre half, whose name eludes me now.
Radwaite.
Brownthwaite, yeah, for most of the season being out, coming back for a little bit, then being injured again, has probably not helped him because the distribution coming from Keane and Tarkowski isn't really Premiership standard. They do their jobs, but they're not, not the best in the world, are they?
No.
And so I think he probably missed out with that because he's a very much a on the ball player and ball's being played into his feet.
Yeah,
And so if you get players, Keane likes to play long balls, long diagonal balls, as does Tarkowski. They're not great at playing into feet.
yeah,
Um,
true.
and so I think he probably misses out from that point of view.
Yeah,
Um, and so I think he's definitely he'll stay with us. I think I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but I think he'll be better next year.
no, I think he's enjoying his football here, mate.
Yeah,
But I did
Yeah.
think he looked worn out. I'd say not the last 7 games. I'd say the last 3. You know,
yeah,
you could just see it. He didn't have his normal energy. He didn't have that like. He, it,
yeah.
you could just sort of see something in him. You know, but
We need We need more depth, don't we? We need more depth to help people like that.
But I mean, we have got Alcaraz and Harrison Armstrong sitting on the
But
bench.
yes, Alcaraz been injured for a long time, hasn't he? But Harrison Armstrong, absolutely, he should have been put on more.
Yeah, so we did have
Yeah,
at least
agreed.
somebody we can put on, even if it's every
Yeah,
2 games for 25 minutes.
Moy,
So
Moy just doesn't cost them, does he?
exactly. I think we talked enough about Moyes and the speaking substitutions
Yeah,
to keep on going on about them. It's everywhere. All right, let's talk about Grealish. All right, how much do you think his foot injury derailed our European push? You think if he was fit all season, we'd have been a different team? Do you think we'd have
I think
got
we've
them?
been 10th.
I'll start with you anyway. What do you think? Do you think we would have? Do you think he would have had enough there to get us them extra
Yeah,
5 or 6 points if he played the full
I,
season?
I, yeah. Well, it wasn't actually that many points, was it, to get to 9th? But
Yeah,
I think, I think we were probably, yes, I think probably he's probably worth 3 or 4 points, isn't he? I think
Yeah.
probably because well, I think what he would have done is we wouldn't have lost the points late in games
yeah,
if he was available. I
yeah,
think he holds the ball well enough and has the ability to be able to control the game more. And I think that's where we what we really missed. That's why conceding goals late is and repeatedly is something's not right in the way people the way the mentality.
yeah,
You shouldn't be doing that.
yeah. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree to everything that Nick said, and then to expound upon that, even professional athletes are emotional beings, and to perform at the level that they are, there's times where you got to put mind over matter. And when you have someone like Jack Grealish, who's been such a solid veteran in the room and on the bench, um, he's been like a rallying point. So when you lose that, I think it may be a little bit not only makes things harder on the pitch, but it deflates a little bit. Maybe you're not playing with as much confidence. And I think that if you look at the performance and how it coincides with when we lost him, that there's something to be said for the emotional letdown of losing him. And I would say he could have been worth, um, like Nick said, maintaining 3 or 4 points, which would have placed us in the top 10. So I would say, yeah, for sure, Grealish,
Yeah,
definitely a huge loss.
yeah. I think I'd agree. I think even if he didn't get any more assists or any more goals, just his presence, isn't it?
Yeah,
That oh shit, Grealish. All right, listen, you can see them gangle up on Ndiaye sometimes, but it's different with Ndiaye. They just sort of back off him and that. But with Grealish, they were boom, they were on him, weren't they? They didn't want to even give him a
Yeah,
bit of, and then the amount of time he could get hold of the ball and just win a foul and
yeah,
give our back four a bit of breathing space. I think you take that. I think, like you said, in them games where we lost him late on, if he was getting on the balls, we'd be winning fouls up to the end of the pitch. We wouldn't be under so much pressure. So
yeah. That's right.
yeah, I agree with you on that one, boys. All right, next one is game of the season. What was your most enjoyable game of the season? 3-0 dismantling of Chelsea or the 1-0 Old Trafford win with only 10 men? What was your game of the season?
oh yeah, that was a good one too. It's got to be a toss up between those two. Both those games were exhilarating. I'd say the Chelsea game because I mean, how many times in the last few years did we score 3 goals in a game
Yeah,
against the top, a big six club? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And United has been on their knees the last couple of years a little bit. They're not the Fergie days. So I would have to say the Chelsea match. Yeah.
all right. What about you, Nick? What's your favourite game of the
Yeah,
season, mate?
yeah. For me, Chelsea match because we played solid football for the whole game.
Yeah, true.
We didn't get. They came out quite well. They had periods in the game which you'd expect, but I just think that game we played really solid football. Branthwaite played, didn't he?
Yeah,
So we played good football. We played nice football as well. Scored good goals.
Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
game. That's why I mentioned them two.
Yeah.
I think the Old Trafford one was a cracking game just because we'd scored early, ended up with 10 men, and
Yeah.
we had to really
Defended for
dig
our
in. We had to
lives.
dig in, didn't we? And
Yeah.
they couldn't break us down. But they were probably the two favorite games.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
All right
And
then.
also the Hill Dickinson. 3-0 against Chelsea at the Hill Dickinson was
Yeah,
important.
yeah. At
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
yeah. Don't see that very often, do we?
Yeah.
You know.
No.
All right then. Let's say one more on players, okay? Which player this season surprised you the most in a positive way? Who do you think stepped up when the rest of the squad was hiding? I'll start with
That's
you, Nick.
um, I think probably who stepped up?
It's hard to name
Well,
anybody,
Illiman,
isn't it?
yeah, Illiman I did well for the first half of the season. Then he went missing. Um, so he did well. I think probably Garner
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
he plays so many positions, and wherever he goes on the pitch, he influences the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where he is. When he went to right back on Saturday, he made such a difference being a right back to the balance of the team. And I think wherever he goes on the pitch, he has an influence.
yeah,
I think he's he's underrated, obviously by the England manager, but he's obviously. But I'm quite pleased he's not going because he won't get injured and he have a good rest.
yeah.
But but I think he's probably my player who's stepped up.
Fair enough. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I would say Garner, like Nick said, I mean, he hit the nail on the head. No matter where he went, he controlled the pace and play of the game on in both directions so well. He was like we would call him over here the Chevy truck of players. You could just plug him in anywhere and beat him, and he would never let up. He's just incredibly reliable. But I got to give an honorable mention to Michael Keane, just because
Mm,
of how he bounced back from you know a bad couple years there. Up until maybe a couple of months ago, everybody was saying, "Man, I'm glad we kept Keane." Um, and when you look back at how hard we were on him, he really did do a whole lot better. Now, once they paired him up with Tarkovsky here after we lost Branthwaite, that changed a little bit. But he, up until that point, he did what he had been assigned to do quite well and exceeded everybody's expectations. So I think he gets an honorable mention for me.
yeah. No, I think that's a good shout actually because
Mm.
if you ask me, if I had to drop one of the centre halves now, I'd be dropping Tarkowski. I would. I just feel
Yeah,
Keane has brought that little bit. Listen, he's had his little times, but so has Tarkowski. I mean, how many times this season have you seen Tarkowski fuck up as well? But I
yeah,
honestly think Keane has not fucked up as many times as Tarkowski this season. And
no,
I think he
no,
offers a lot more in the opposite team's box as well. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I think that's a good shout, that one, Mark. I really do, mate.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good shout, that one.
The only thing with Tarkovsky is his leadership. We miss that when he's not there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
But he's not the greatest footballer.
no,
He's lacking in the footballing department, but in leadership he excels.
yeah, true, true.
For he's what 6'3", 6'4", something
Who,
like that.
who Keane?
But no, Tarkovsky.
I think Tarkowski's 6'2". Yeah, he's not as big as the
All
others.
right, well, but he's not short,
Yeah,
and anybody can go out there and assault players. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's not very creative defensive. Um, so I think he's got some room to improve. Although I don't know at his age that
But
you're going to see a
you
lot of
do
that.
you do need someone to go and assault players in football. You need someone on your side to do that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but isn't there a line like not getting reds and not getting yellows? I mean,
yeah,
we do got to
yeah.
keep 11 men on the pitch.
Yellow,
You
yeah.
got you got to know you got to know how to do it.
Yeah. 2 foot to tackles,
But
chest height.
someone's got to be able someone's got to be the hard player for your team.
Yeah,
You need one of
yeah,
those. You
yeah,
need one of those in your team.
Yeah,
Usually in the middle midfield, don't you? But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
yeah, we had Peter Reid was an animal on the pitch, wasn't
Oh,
he, when he was
those
playing?
are the days you could
You
be,
know,
though, wasn't it? Those are the days you
yeah,
could
yeah,
actually tackle
Yeah.
somebody and they wouldn't go rolling for 30 fucking yards, screaming and
that was
crying.
right.
You know, that's when actually
I was
men actually
watch
played the game.
Yeah,
I was watching videos this week of Vinnie Jones and Roy Keane going at it
Yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day, and yeah, man, it's crazy how much it's changed in 25 years.
Both
yeah.
both of whom were afraid of Fergie,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, all right.
Ferguson scared them all.
yeah, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's the only one of the three that did prison time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
For-
I don't know how Vinnie
Yeah,
Jones stayed out of the Knicks, but he did somehow.
yeah,
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
all right then. Well, let's talk about the collapse. Okay. What do you think has happened in the last 7 games? Was it purely physical fatigue, or did David Moyes' tactics just like get completely figured out by the rest of the league, and we just couldn't do nothing about it? I think we picked up, what was it, 2 points out of a possible 21, or 3 points out of a possible 21. So what do you think happened in the last 7 games? I'll start with you,
Uh,
Mark.
For one, extra time got added that we wouldn't have gotten. Okay, the Everton bias exists. It just does. Whether it's VAR, no, we'll say that VAR, we would have moved up 5 spots. I
yeah,
know that that table that I sent, it shows how everybody's affected a little bit, but we were affected negatively the most. And it seems like anytime there was a bubble call or even a blatant call that should have gone our way, didn't. You've got, we lost at least 3 points to the time added. Okay. And then, of course, I've been banging on about this till I'm blue in the face, but not developing the bench and making subs in time so that we can rely on those players was a factor. Those are my three main factors. So I'm not afraid at all to put the onus on us, but at the same time, the VAR, the way it exists now, is bullshit. And the added time, I've been complaining in my family group with Nick that the pool of officials is not large enough. There needs to be a larger rotation of officials just to make things more honest. I know that some of us are going to bitch no matter who it is, but we keep getting the same reheated officials that we have, a bad relationship with, and I think it's 100% a factor. I'm not saying this kept us out of Europe, but I'm saying it definitely cost us points and places in the table.
All right. What about you, Nick? Do you reckon caused the 7 game collapse at the end of the
yeah.
season?
I agree, but I think one thing I would say about the late goals is the subs are on by then. We've effectively got fresh legs on when we concede those goals.
Yeah,
And I wouldn't blame the subs for the goals being conceded. It's got to be the organisation that when they come on,
yeah,
there's organisation lacking, and I think we've lacked those last 7 8 games. Branthwaite's been a huge miss, and
Yeah,
so we need to replace Branthwaite, or be able to replace Branthwaite if Branthwaite goes, because there's always a possibility he might go still.
yeah,
And if he stays with us, we need to have someone who can take his place, like O'Brien, who can actually take his place and be like him, not like Keane or Tarkowski, because they don't work well. They don't work together. The two of them together are ineffective as a centre half pairing. And so I think that's Branthwaite was a huge miss to us. He because he creates he plays the ball on the floor to the midfield players who can then create. But I also think the balance at the back has been found out. We every game we get a speedy winger against O'Brien, who he has to foul in the first 10 minutes and get a yellow card.
yeah.
It's rinse and repeat for the next game. And so I think that's obviously made a huge difference, and we need to that has to be sorted out. We talked about that previously about left back, right back. Um, And I think we've maybe just been found out by other teams how to combat the setup that we've got, and we've got no ability to change that with the players who are on the pitch. Because when the players came on Saturday, when George came on Saturday
Yeah,
and gave us that extra width, which meant they had to defend wider, we started creating opportunities.
yeah, we did, mate. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, for me as well, I do honestly believe it was a lot to do with the tactics and the
Yeah,
failure to play each game against the opposition you're playing against, not just pick the same team week in, week out with no particular plan to beat the team you're
yeah,
playing against. It was just go on the pitch, guys, do your best, sort of thing. And I think it got more found out towards the end of the season, because I honestly believe we were bound to run out of luck, because a lot of our games that we were snipping away from home were like 1-0 snap and grabs, and running away from the
yeah,
games, and then we weren't playing fantastic football. We were playing football where we were just hard to beat. And I think
Yeah.
yeah,
we lost that hard. And don't forget, guys, we got most of our points while Branthwaite was injured.
yeah. We did, yeah, yeah,
So something definitely happened there, and I do blame the injuries for Grealish as well. And I mean, but when the boys were away in Afcon, we didn't struggle as bad as we thought we would either. You know,
Not as bad as I thought that we would.
yeah.
Absolutely not.
So the downfall has been the last 7 to 10 games from what, let's say, February, March up till the end of the season, hasn't it?
yeah,
So something, and at that time, he's basically had a full squad.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
you,
Minus Grealish and
yeah, minus Grealish, he basically had,
Ramsey. Ramsey,
yeah, Branthwaite was there, and then
yeah.
he went out the last 3 games, I think,
Yeah,
didn't he? So from like
the,
February all the way up
from
to,
the Liverpool game, wasn't it?
yeah,
Liverpool game. He
yeah,
went, didn't he? So
yeah. So
Hey, Dave,
yeah,
I gotta go to drill, bud.
okay, mate, no worries, dude. Off you go.
Yeah. All right, boys. It was great seeing you, and looking forward to the next one.
All right, looks like it's just me and you left, mate. So
yeah,
we can plow through them now. So yeah, I mean, I believe it was a little bit of everything, in my opinion.
yeah,
I do think that it was fatigue as well. I mean, professional
yeah.
football these
They,
days, it's a lot faster, it's a lot harder, there's a lot more running, especially in the middle of the
yeah,
midfield. You could see it towards the end of the season, but we just got figured out, mate, didn't we? It's like you said, put a
yeah,
fast winger on O'Brien,
yeah.
and then that was it.
Well, you would if you're a manager of an opposing team. That's the first thing you do, right? Let's get our fast winger on him because he can't turn.
Yeah,
He's okay around his own box. He's okay, but you get space to run into, to
yeah,
attack him every time.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, but why doesn't our manager do that when we play against other teams?
I know. Yeah,
Why does he not try and find the weaknesses of the other teams? It's just the same
why?
thing, isn't it? You know.
Because who would do it?
Well,
We haven't got the fast winger unless you start
no,
one of the subs.
no. But if you got, for instance, Ndai, okay,
Yeah,
you'd put him on the weakest fullback, wouldn't you?
yeah, yeah.
You would. You'd say, okay, listen, he's shit slow him. I need you to get at him. You're playing on the right today against him.
Put
You
put
know,
George on.
put George on, like you said.
Start with George.
So exactly. So why do you insist on playing Malin Roll on the right wing, because he had one good game?
Yeah,
When he could have turned around and said, okay, what fullbacks should we be against today? Oh,
yeah.
we're against them. Oh, they don't have any pace. Let's get fucking George on them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
although Marion Roll has got pace. I mean,
He
he's got
has, but
a lot,
he hasn't got
but
the.
he's not a winger.
Yeah, he hasn't got the dribbling though, has he? If you watch George,
No,
George is like bouncing
yeah,
here and cutting in, and you can see he's a
step
winger.
overs, and
Yeah, so yeah,
he's what we need. I hope they keep him. I do, 'cause I think he's got a lot of potential,
yeah, and
and
I
and
think
he's
Chelsea will let
tall.
him go. Yeah, I think Chelsea
Yeah,
would let him go
he's
as well.
tall as well.
He is, mate.
He
About
is
six
tall.
foot, isn't he, or 6'1"? So
Yeah, yeah,
all them boys balls from Pickford out to the wings. We might win one.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, might do, might do.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get on to some transfers now. Okay, so the £35 million ghost. What happened to Tyler Diblin? He came for a massive fee. Whose fault is it? The scouting department, or is it just Moyes not giving him time to play and show himself?
I think doing something is, or there's an attitude problem, or something's not right. Something isn't right for him to be left out the way he has been. Something's not something. There's been something behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Yeah, I just can't put my fingers on it because
Well,
you can't turn around and say he's not ready when he played basically a full season for Southampton the season before
yeah,
and was absolutely brilliant for them. He was,
yeah.
I think,
He was stuck. He came on sub for them to move mainly, but he was still, but he impressed when he came on. When he did start, he played well,
yeah,
and then this season, nothing, nothing at all. And I think in Moyes' team, you've got to come back and defend, and I don't think he wanted to defend.
no, I mean, like, and we've had this argument before. Some players are just like that, isn't it? And
Yeah,
you've got to
yeah,
make some sacrifices if you want to get that flair out of him. He needs that energy. Maybe he's not a fit player. Maybe he's one of them
yeah,
players where he doesn't have the fitness, but put the ball at his feet and he'll probably run forever. Don't put the ball at his
yeah,
feet and he'll just potter around and patter around. But there's definitely something gone on there. For them to not even give him minutes, though, Nick,
yeah.
is taking the piss. He has been our player that's probably not been injured this season. One of our
No,
only players who hasn't had
well,
time on, who hasn't
he
had time out for injury.
he might have been injured. We wouldn't know.
You
We
know,
don't know. He could have been injured, and no one ever knew about it because he never got on the pitch anyway. I
ah,
refereed his brother actually recently.
yeah. How was he?
Yeah,
Anyway,
not great, not great. He's okay. He's okay for his age group. He's okay. He's in a good team.
yeah, he is, mate. Okay, assessing the squad players: Alcaraz, Barry, Diblin. Did we actually improve the squad depth, or just paper over the cracks?
I think Alcaraz was papering over, papering over cracks. But one thing I do like about Alcaraz is he plays forwards.
Yeah,
Always tries to play forwards, and I like that about him. And that makes a difference when you're trying to attack,
yeah,
rather than looking for the sideways. Because I noticed that even Harrison was passing sideways at the weekend, not going forwards when he could go forwards,
yeah,
and that's a Moyes thing. That's to keep hold of the ball, don't take risks. Yeah. Whereas Alcaraz, who's leaving, he's going to go forwards. He's trying to create opportunities.
yeah.
He's in the top window.
What's the point in having them players like that in the team if you're not going to use them to the strengths?
Yeah.
This is what irritates you. Why are you bringing attacking players in and then not using
He
them to
did
their
start
attacking
playing
strengths?
Alcaraz, didn't he? He did start playing before he got injured.
Yeah,
He was getting some game time.
he was getting the odd one game, yeah, here and there. But I haven't checked his
Yeah.
minutes actually. It's something I'll look at, like, you know. But
Yeah. I don't. It's a shame, really, because I think he's going, isn't he? We'll believe, but
I don't blame him though.
yeah.
I
No, neither do I.
I think we're gonna lose him. I think there's a chance we will lose. What should we call it, Diblin? I
I
don't
think
think
Dibley might go on loan.
I don't think George is gonna come back. He's not gonna want to play under Moyes again.
No.
He's just not gonna want to do it. He's at a stage in his career now where he wants to play football. He is not gonna
Yeah.
get that underneath David Moyes. You
Yeah. He
know,
doesn't want to be bench warmer, does he?
no, he doesn't. And so
Well,
I think looking at what's happened this season, that's going to be another reason where we're going to struggle to attract players next season as well because
yeah.
of
He'd be second fiddle to Grealish if Grealish comes anyway.
he would, but you know, getting him on for 30 minutes every single game, not 15 minutes every two games. You know,
Yeah.
giving them cup runs. You know, if we have
Yeah.
a genuinely pretty easiest game at home that we think we're going to win, give him a start.
Yeah.
Give him the minutes on the pitch, you
And
know.
rest. Yeah. Give players a chance to
Yeah.
rotate.
So, and again, I don't think he's going to get that. I think obviously McNeil's going to go as well, so we're going to lose that squad depth. So if we lose
Yeah.
Alcaraz, McNeil, maybe Dibbling as well,
I don't think Dibbling will go because he's taken the value out of Dibbling, so you can't really sell him.
No,
I think he'll go on loan.
yeah, maybe, mate, maybe. There's a chance we might lose Gay as well because he hasn't signed a contract yet.
Yeah, I think.
So
Yeah. Well, I think although I don't want Gates to go because he's important to us, I think we have to move on from him.
yeah, I do myself. I don't. I think you can put Merlin Roll in this position, mate, and he'll do a good job. I honestly do.
Yeah.
He just needs time on the pitch, which
Yeah.
he hasn't got this season.
No, I noticed Merlin Roll's growing his Fellaini hair, so
Yeah,
he's looking more and more like Fellaini on the pitch, which isn't a bad thing. I'd take Fellaini back today any day.
There's one here that I found there. It was saying that if we put out a missing persons report for Tyler Diblin, do you think Merseyside police would actually find him, or is he permanently trapped in a broom cupboard at Finch Farm? I had to get that was brilliant. That when I read that, absolutely brilliant.
It's so strange, isn't it? Something we don't know about with Tyler Dibbling.
Yeah, there's something behind the doors. I think, and
Real
whether we have
heroin addict or something.
you never know. He might have a good pre-season, impress the gaffer,
Yeah.
and he might get started.
He's done a season now.
But the thing,
and I think pre-season is going to be so important to us. We need to get our transfers in early, don't we?
But we never do we?
No.
We're fucking last minute Larrys all the time, and then all you ever hear is Everton miss out on such and such. Everton miss out on such and such.
Yeah.
Our scouting team and director of football and all that, they're absolutely trash, mate. They don't know how to get deals across the line.
No. Rubbish. How can we be so poor for so many years? They brought new people in and they just carry on doing the same things.
Exactly, and the thing is, if we bring people in, they should be players that are challenging for their positions, especially attacking players, not players who are brought in to cover. It should be players where, if Ndiaye has a bad game, we should be able to bring on a fucking good enough winger to cause the same damage as he does. No, I'll just keep him in the squad just in case Illy has a bad game, and it needs defense is different, isn't it? If you got a good solid defense, you don't need you do just need cover. But when you're attacking and you're going forward, you need players with the same consistency and the same, that can bring something as well, not just be cover. And I think that's where we've been at a long time, hasn't it? We've had a half decent 11 and a piss poor bench. The depth,
no depth whatsoever.
The depth has just been absolutely piss poor. And I think we're still there now, and I think we're going to be there even more. In the summer, say we do lose McNeil, say we do lose.
Possibly, I think.
Say we do.
I think if we get a left back and a right back, then at least we've got left back cover because we're going to keep Mikalenko, and as cover, I think he's not a bad player. I think if we can get, they should have been outside West Ham's ground on Sunday with a checkbook trying to buy Wan-Bissaka straight away as he come off the pitch. He should be sign here, please.
Yeah, I've seen the links today, 10 million or something.
For who?
For Wan-Bissaka.
Well, for whatever, are they trying to get him? Are they?
Yeah. So I've read it's been all over social media today. Like, well, how much of it's true, I don't know. But he would be the perfect. He would be the perfect signing, to be honest.
Exactly. It's what we need.
Yeah,
we need because it's so obvious on Saturday when Ghana went to right back. The difference we immediately looked like a side that could win the game. Immediately.
It's just about balancing, isn't it, mate? And this is the frustration everybody's had with Moyes. O'Brien has been extremely poor the last 2 to 3 months.
He doesn't want to be a right back.
He doesn't, and you can see. And I don't believe putting Nathan Patterson there would have been worse than having O'Brien there.
No, well, you could have had O'Brien in the middle then.
Yeah, exactly. You could have strengthened the middle a little bit more with the pace. Put him next to Patterson. just to
Yep.
give him that little
Him.
bit of pace and support while Patterson goes forward. He could have done a lot of things, but he just outright refused to do it. And again,
Yeah.
we're getting back to him again, aren't we? And talking about Moyes again and what he should have done, what he should have
Yeah.
done. And that's the reason now his job is under scrutiny because of his poor decisions, I think. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely need a lot of fucking bench warmers this season, mate. We need that depth, you know. We
Yeah, we
do.
do. Yeah,
And
absolutely. That's what we need.
and
Well, left back, right back.
yeah,
Left back and right back.
yeah, and they need to be decent left backs and decent right backs. You know,
Yeah. Is Patterson going to the World Cup?
who? Patterson.
Patterson.
Yeah, for sure, mate.
Yeah.
He plays great.
Right back for Scotland, isn't he?
Mate, he plays great for Scotland.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly don't believe we've given him a proper bite at it. I don't.
No.
We've never given him a 5 or 6 game run. Injuries hampered him a bit, didn't he, under the Dyson period and stuff. And then when we did
He
see
does
him,
get injured easily, doesn't
but when we
he? He is
did,
injury prone.
yeah, but when we did see him come on, he didn't look great. But nobody did when they played under Dyche, did they?
No.
So you can't
No.
really blame him for looking shite for a year or two under Dyche and being injury prone. Look at Michael Keane, his resurgence. Look at Maguire at Man United. He was getting hammered and battered, and then he picked his game up. We don't give them second chances, and we should. And we had him there all season, basically available, nearly all season. And the poor lad couldn't get more than one fucking game. I find it pathetic.
No.
Anyway,
No, he'll go.
Move on.
He'll go with him.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Final predictions for the summer. Does Moyes survive to see August, or will we have a new main man in dugout by pre-season?
I think Moyes has got another season because they want the stability, and changing a manager shows instability. And I think for the board, it's more important they stay in the Premier League and stay just whether mid-table is fine for them. They're happy with that at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like, what are the board thinking? Because they're not transparent, are they? They don't let us know their ambitions. Are we just a business to them, or do they actually want to win things? But you would presume they want to win things, and you presume you were pissed off the season. How much money did it cost us? Them last 7 games of the season, and then 2 or 3 spots. How much would that cost us not being in Europe next
10 million.
season?
Yeah, 10 million.
Yeah, and then the finishing position in the Premier League itself. So because you get paid for being in Europa League, don't you? I think it's like 900 grand a match. You get paid from UEFA, so you actually get payments from being in the UEFA League as well. And then the league positions, it's cost us millions. Like I said, the Moyes thing, I think you might be right. I think he'll be stuck there for another season.
I think with one more year, then he'll. I think he'll move. Like he said, he wants to move upstairs. He doesn't want to carry on managing forever, does he?
No, I think he'd be a great person to have upstairs. I do.
Yeah.
I just think his
steady hand, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think his tactics are just get overwhelmed.
Dated.
I think he's lost his edge as a manager. But
yeah.
Anyway, we'll move on from Moyes anyway. And
yep.
All right, let's move on to the last couple of things. What have we got here? We've got chop and block. Who do you think needs to be fucked off out the squad, sold immediately to clear up the wage bill and raise funds? Name your top 2 or 3 departures.
We've got a couple going already, haven't we? So we know a couple are going with what's his name? The winger. Winger. Who's the winger?
O'Neill.
O'Neill's going. Oh, yeah, he's going. Who else? I move on. I think Patterson will go, although I'd be quite happy for him to stay.
Yeah.
But if he's not going to get a game, there's no point in him staying. I think he should go for his own benefit, for his own career. Do you remember Moyes did the same thing with Matt Jackson, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He did.
Let him hang around for years and years and never played him. But the who else? I think Beto possibly. Beto or Barry. Either one. We need to keep one. But as long as they get the replacement before they sell them. And don't do what we do. Sell them and then don't get anyone.
Yeah, we'll be starting the season this year with Ndiaye playing as a false nine.
Yeah,
Probably, until we find a striker who will sign on like deadline
in
day or
January.
something. Yeah, deadline day or something
Yeah,
like that. But yeah,
yeah,
I think you're not far off. To me, if I had to axe it, or if I'd let people go, O'Neill's already gone. I would honestly let Gay go this season. He's fucking
yeah.
he's 37 coming now. You don't need it. And I'll be honest with you, when he plays, you're only getting 20, 30 minutes out of him anyway now. He doesn't
Yeah, it's not very well.
he doesn't have that impact for the full 90 anymore. You know,
No.
if he stayed, I would not like to see him again starting matches. I'd like to see him brought on last 20, 30 minutes for that energy that he's got, that closing down, that knowledge just to close
Yeah.
games out. I'd like to see him there.
But his passing's not great, is it?
No, it's
He gives
poor.
the ball away in some dangerous positions.
He does, mate. He does. And if you notice him as well, he hasn't got that energy for getting back anymore. If you notice, sometimes when the opposite team breaks, he's always lagging behind. Before, he used to be
Yeah,
sprinting back, getting in front of the player, getting the ball, and then pushing us out. He has lost
yeah,
his little bit of edge. I mean,
yeah,
but interceptions and stuff like that, he's still got the brain. And that
yeah.
helps in later in the game when you're 1-0 up or 2-0 up, and your midfielders he's the sort of player you want to
Read the
bring on.
game. Yeah,
But if you notice,
yeah,
he takes 60 minutes to even get into a game now. He's
yeah,
so slow at
I,
starting the game, and
yeah.
so for me, either chop him or use him as a sub next
Get
season.
roll. Yeah, we give Merlin Roll more of a role in
Yeah,
the side.
yeah,
Or even Harrison. Get
yeah,
him on the.
yeah,
He's a
yeah,
good player. And I think maybe in the pre-season, because they're then now done another year, they're now bigger, stronger. They
yeah,
may get more
yeah. I
next
mean,
year.
I think you've got James Garner doing Gay's job now. He's all over the pitch. He's closing
Yeah,
down. He's putting tackles in. You've got that energy from him, so you can afford to
yeah,
pull Dewsbury Hall back into that midfield now. Because that's where Dewsbury Hall's strength is. He's an actual box-to-box midfielder. He's not a behind the
yeah,
front man. So you can afford to pull him back as well, and maybe play Alcaraz, or you can put Armstrong
yeah,
next to him, or Roll next to him. That you've got Armstrong, Dewsbury Hall, Garner, Roll, and Alcaraz. You've got 5 youngish players in that midfield who
yeah,
have energy, who have the fight. You could rotate them around constantly. You could go to a
yeah,
flat 3, you could go to one behind the forward. If you had a manager who could actually think about doing stuff depending on who he's playing, because our midfield just gets bypassed all the time. If you noticed, even when
yeah,
we're playing against 3 in midfield, we've still only got 2 there because Moyes can't see that we're playing 3 in the midfield. So they just make a triangle and they just pass and they're gone.
yeah.
So yeah, I think Gay for me, either sell him on or push him to one side, and I'd be one of the strikers has got to go. I would like you. I couldn't give care less which one of them goes. And to be
Yeah.
honest with you, I'd be binning off Keane. To be honest with you, or Tarkowski. I think one of them's got to go. I think there's just
I think if they can get another centre half in, because you need
but
4.
that's what they have to do. I mean, to me, he should be O'Brien and Branthwaite now.
The guy from is it Black Burnley's centre half?
Yeah, the Esteve. Exactly. So
Yeah,
if you brought someone like him in, listen,
and
what are they now? 31, 32? Tarkowski,
yeah,
closing on 33. No one else is
yeah.
playing 33
Esteve,
year No one else is playing 33-year-old centre halves. Hardly anybody.
Esteve's the leader as well, isn't
Yeah, he's a pretty decent player. But
he? Yeah.
my only issue is, and we had it with Tarkowski and Keane, didn't he? Buying defenders from clubs that got relegated.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
always the big question. Because somebody said it today about Wan-Bissaka. Oh, but they conceded 40 odd goals or their goal differences. Yeah, but Wan-Bissaka's an attacking right back as well.
Yeah.
So you're going to get twice as much from him going forward. And that fucker has got so much pace and he can tackle. I
Yeah.
don't think the goals came from down his side of the pitch. They probably came from elsewhere on the pitch. So I think
But I think also they had quite a not lightweight lightweight midfield in that they didn't have anyone who put the foot in the midfield for
true.
them. So they had quite talented midfield, but they weren't tacklers. There wasn't a British spine to their team.
Yeah, Yeah, you're right. You're right, mate. There was nothing down the middle, was there? That's where they were poor.
So
They would
that
just walk past.
nothing helping the two centre halves or the defence to try and break up the play in front of them. You know what Garner does for us, or even Merlin Rolls can do.
Yeah, I mean, Roll has got such an engine as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
You
and
know,
he's got. I think he's got pace. He's got height. He's going to get stronger. I
yeah,
think he's a real prospect. You don't. German players are like they're like British players in their stature and the way
yeah,
they play. They're
yeah,
similar attitude. They don't get knocked off the ball easily, although he did.
yeah.
But he'll get stronger. He'll get better. And then you've got Harrison Armstrong, who I think will just get better and better.
Exactly. I think he's going to need a match time next season. And to be honest, if
Yeah.
I was going to push another one out, I'd be pushing Timmy de Boonham out.
Yes, he
I'd
came
be
before.
free.
It was so frustrating.
Mate, I've seen him play
Yeah,
one half decent game all
yeah.
season. You know,
I think he's a squad player. He's a squad player you have on the bench.
yeah,
If he got 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes on each game, I think he should be happy with that.
yeah.
He's not a starter.
No, he's too fucking scatty headed for me. He makes too many mistakes.
Yeah, yeah. It gives the ball away.
I mean,
Gives the ball away.
he wins the ball
Ridiculous.
and then just gives it fucking away straight away. You know,
He's got head down, headless chicken
yeah,
when he gets the ball.
he just passes to the wrong team
Yeah,
constantly.
yeah,
But hey ho.
yeah, definitely.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
just get on to our striker issue for the last topic, and then that'll be it, I think, mate.
Have we got a
Okay.
striker, Richard?
I mean, if we could crowdsource a striker, right? Every fan chips in a fiver or something like that. You know, who can we realistically afford that actually knows what the inside of the goal looks like? I mean, who is
Ivan
there?
Toney.
I mean, but can we afford them? Is
Yeah.
is
Well, if he wants to come back to the UK, we couldn't pay him £400,000 a week that he gets now. But
exactly?
if he wants to come back to the UK on a normal wage,
Yeah,
I would go for Ivan Toney.
yeah. I mean,
In January, there was talk about us getting him, wasn't there?
yeah, there was, mate. Yeah, but I think it was going to be like a loan thing, wasn't it? I think
Well,
it was going to
take
be.
him on loan then.
I think it was going to be something like that anyway. But I mean,
He's obviously not happy.
he knows where the back of the net is, but he is 30.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be like a 2-year contract on lower wages and
Yeah.
not a big transfer fee. Because again, we've got no resale value.
No,
You know
no,
what I mean?
right.
If you bring him in, we're not going to be able to sell him on because of his age. By the time he finishes up, he'll either end up going on a free transfer or moving
Yeah.
on. I mean, I would take another closer look at that Burnley striker, that Fleming.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, he scored, was it 10 goals this season for the Burnley team?
Yeah.
You know,
Struggling to do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and we were after that. What was his name from Newcastle? The one they've just started playing towards the end of the season. We were linked with him in January, and I wish we'd have gone and got him. Can't remember what his name is now, like Asulo or something like that. I mean, when I looked at his stats, he hadn't played many, and now he started playing in the last 3 or 4 games of the season, and he's just ripped it up. I don't think they're going to sell him now.
Has he?
There's no way they're going to sell him now. But
No.
Asula, I think his name was something like Asula,
Yeah.
and he wasn't getting a sniff because they had the big guy up front. You know, so they him. But then the last 3 or 4 games of the season, he's absolutely ripped it up. Like, he's been one of the best players. And now,
Yeah.
if
It's
they do,
frustrating, isn't it?
if they do sell him, they just threw another 15 million on top of him.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't
They
understand.
got some expensive big players, haven't they?
Yeah,
Newcastle.
yeah, they have, mate. I just don't
They'll be on
understand
big
though
wages.
why we can't find these strikers that the other like mid-table teams are finding. You know what I mean? Like
We don't give them the service.
you know, I don't know because the guy from Bournemouth, what's his name? The one that's just scored fucking, or was it Bournemouth? The guy that's just scored fucking 20 odd goals this season. You know,
For
Ego or something. No, that's Ego Jesus from Forest, isn't it? I can't remember his fucking name. I can't believe I forgot his name. But anyway, he scored.
there's quite a few, isn't there, who are good, but would they come to us? Why would Bournemouth player come to us when we're below them in the league?
No, exactly. But they bought him from somewhere abroad. They seem to be going out
Yeah.
and finding all these foreign players. Semenyo, Embuemo. You know, they seem to be able to go out and find all these high quality
Yeah.
top foreign players, and they bring them in on low wages as well, mate. because
Yeah.
they're not buying them from big, well-known teams. They're buying them from mediocre teams, but they've stood out in them teams, and they're bringing them in, and they're nurturing them, and they're either
But
selling them on for 10 times. Embuemo, they bought him for 6.5 million, mate. How much did they
yeah,
sell him to United for? 60 million.
we probably don't see the ones they buy that don't get anywhere. We only see the ones that make it.
Sometimes, yeah, maybe, but at least they're getting people
Yeah.
that make it. We don't even get the ones that make it.
No, that's right. But we don't buy that many.
You know,
I think maybe if we bought more than we only got Barry, didn't we? If we were able to spend and get three different players,
yeah,
we might find one who can do that. But then we wouldn't want to sell him.
yeah,
We do- But I think Barry's been a disappointment so far. Maybe the second season he might improve if he gets on the weights during the summer break.
yeah.
Does some he gets some protein down his throat. Um, he needs to bulk up, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, one more quick talk about the striker before we close it. Braden Graham, where do you stand on him? The young lad from the under-21s.
You've got to give him a chance, haven't you? He scores goals for fun. Every level he's played at, he's scored goals for fun. He's and yet Moyes doesn't give him a chance. Moyes said he'd give him a chance pre-season, didn't he?
I hope he does. I hope he gives him a chance. I hope he gives Diblin more time. And like I
Yeah,
said to you, I can't see us getting George because I don't think he's going to get a game. So I think he's burnt his bridges with with the lone player this season as well, and I think he's burnt his bridges with a lot of others. So I think we're going to have a tough
yeah,
time of it. If Moyes is there, come like transfer window opens, I think we're going to have a tough time getting players. Number one, we're not in Europe. Number two, because of who we have in charge right now, and they've seen how he's acted this season. So they're not going to come to the club unless they have guarantees that they're playing. So that
yeah.
means,
I know it's guaranteed.
and so that we're not going to give them guarantees because we've already got decent players in their positions. So why not?
Yeah,
Why not look to your youth? Why not look down there? It's not costing you anything.
no.
You know.
Braden Graham, why not give Braden Graham a chance? No one can understand that, can they? He doesn't think he's ready, obviously, but anyone under the age of 25 isn't ready in his view. So,
Yeah. Which is bullshit, man. Look, some of the best players in the Premier League came through when they were 18,
yeah,
19. I mean, who's
yeah.
that? That Dalman?
King at Fulham.
Yeah, yeah. Dalman at Arsenal.
Yeah,
Rooney,
scoring a duck. Yeah,
Michael Owen. How old was Michael
yeah.
Owen? 16 and a half or something?
16, yeah, yeah.
And he's a similar sort of size and build to
Well,
Braden
that
Gray.
Liverpool got that young winger at the moment, haven't they?
Yeah,
Who's like 17.
yeah, he's a young lad as well. Because they give chances, but at least they've got him training with the first team. When they can get him on
Yeah,
the pitch, they get him on for 30 minutes. They started him the last couple of games of the season.
yeah.
They like, but most teams give, and we're just not doing that, man. We gave them a
I think
chance.
Braden Graham's been with the first team training now, isn't he?
I've heard that rumours that he has been in and
Yeah,
out of it, yeah. But again, I don't know what Moyes' standards are and who's ready and who's isn't, mate, because that's all I hear.
yeah,
I see the same 11 every match, and all I hear is he's not
yeah.
ready. Adam Asnu, not ready. Really? Not ready? Okay. Tyler Dibban, not ready. Tyreek George, 15 minutes, not ready. Why did we bring Harrison Armstrong back off loan? We should have sent him straight
Yeah,
back out before the transfer window closed. And what did I hear the other
yeah.
day? What was it? I think Moyes is the first person to ruin 3 teams in a season or something. First one to cost Preston the promotion playoffs by taking Armstrong back.
Yeah.
First one he got fucking West Ham relegated. And there was 3 things that they blamed Moyes for this
Well, it
season.
ruined our season fell apart, didn't it, as well?
You know,
Our own season.
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, man,
Yes.
eh,
I try not to be too hard on Moyes because I think at the end of the day he did save took us away from Dyke when we had he's not all bad. It's
well,
just his time is coming to an end. I think.
I do myself.
Yeah.
I think it's ready for him. Listen,
Because he won't change.
would I be un?
He won't change, will he?
We do, and calling this season, and what pisses me off is causing this season an improvement on the last season. It's not. It's the same, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's not a massive
Well,
improvement.
no, I mean it's worse
Yeah,
because last season you had half a season and you got us to this position.
yeah. And then
So this season, you had the whole season and got us to the same position.
with
So we're no better off.
with money spent as well. I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
what's eating at people, you know. And I think the last 7 games is what upset people the most.
Awful. Yeah,
You know, so.
yeah.
But okay, then, mate. So next season, what would you like to see, mate? Final say off. What would you like to see from the Blues? What would you
An
actually?
improvement.
Well,
Left back, right back.
well,
I'd like to see us play. I'd like to finish up, in the top 10.
yeah,
But I think I'd also like to see us more balanced and have a left back, a right back. People in the right positions.
yeah,
Maybe O'Brien getting the chance to play centre half instead of Tarkowski. O'Brien and Branthwaite playing together in the middle
yeah,
would be great.
yeah. I would, mate. I'd like to see us take a few more chances. If Moyes is there, I'd like to see him take a few more chances. Take some chances on the young players.
Yeah,
Start gritting them in a little bit. Because I think there was talk of Asnu's asked to leave as well. So you're gonna need another attacking left back and I'd like to see him if it is there. Pick your games, pick your players for the games you're playing.
yeah,
Michaelenko's had some great games this season
yeah.
because
When he's had to defend, he's been
when he's
very
had to
good,
defend.
solid.
So when you believe he's going to have to defend, play Michaelenko. When you believe we can be
Yeah,
on the front foot, play Asnu. I'd like to see proper tactical decisions from him if he's going to stay.
yeah.
Not just the same shit in, week out, same team.
Because we know what he's going to do. The other managers know what he's going to do. Everyone knows what he's going to do. So
So it's that
you can set up
predictability,
for it.
it's that predictability from. I'd like to see that go.
Yeah,
I'd like to see us have a pretty decent transfer window. I don't think we need to go out. I don't want to see us saying that. I don't want to see us go out and buy 8 fucking players or anything like that.
no,
I want to see us strengthen the positions. I want to see him look towards the youth, and I want to see our own youth sitting on the bench a bit more. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like Braden Graham. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
you need a mixture of youth
Yeah,
and some experience
yeah.
on the bench, don't we?
And I'd like to see us have 4 decent wingers, who can
Yeah,
challenge each other for the positions.
yeah,
Listen, if we keep the same 2 strikers, it wouldn't ask me. But if we increased our
yeah,
creativity and our fullback positions to make us better going forward, our strikers are going to score more goals. I don't doubt that.
yeah.
I think our
I mean,
strikers get 30
if next season, you had on the bench, you had Mikko, Tarkowski on the bench, or Keane on the bench. You've got defensive choices.
Yeah,
Maybe someone who, and then you've got some 3 young kids who are attacking young
yeah,
players on the bench,
yeah.
and maybe Barry or Beto on the bench with them. He's got experience and youth. Then that's what you need, isn't it?
I would like
And at
to
the
see
moment,
him.
we either have
Yeah,
famine or feast.
yeah. I'd like to see us stop spending fucking money on stupidity. Start looking
Yeah,
towards our own youth because I believe our youth looks fantastic, mate. I follow the under 18s, under 21s, and I believe we've got a lot of potential there. But again,
yeah,
I mean, who was the last? I mean, Addison Armstrong is one of them, isn't it? But
yeah.
before him, who have we brought
We,
through?
we had to sold our best ones for PSR, didn't we? They had to go because of PSR.
Yeah, we sold him. What was his name? Dobbing as well. We sold him, didn't we?
Yeah,
We got rid of a few.
yeah. The guy that went to Coventry as well, didn't we?
Yeah,
The centre forward went to
yeah.
Coventry.
Elm.
That was all PSR related. It was all PSR.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, that's getting abolished this season as well, isn't it? So
In Premier League, not in Europe, is it?
is it?
Still 70%. Yeah,
Yes, I haven't read up on the
it's
rules of
only
it yet.
it's only a monetary fine if you breach it.
Yeah, and that's why they're waiting for that to come in now, aren't they? So they can talk about cities things.
Yeah,
So they'll be negotiating fines. But yeah, I'd just like to see us a
monetary
little bit
fine.
more. If we finish where we were this season and we hadn't spent all that money, but we'd bred in some youth, and you'd feel optimistic, wouldn't you? You'd be like, all right,
Yeah,
you you could see, fucking hell, right, but he's played good this season. You know, we just need to do.
Yeah.
You could see a couple of minor tweaks, but right now you're like blank, aren't you? You don't know
Yeah.
what we don't know what to expect next season. Are we going to expect the
No.
same team with 1 or 2 improvements? But I'd like
We
to.
can't have the same team.
Yeah,
We'll be relegated if we have the same team.
yeah, I believe we would, mate.
We've
I
got,
believe
to,
we would.
we've got to improve. We've got to improve, and we've got to improve the tactics. We've got to get a left back and a right back because we've been worked out, and we won't get enough points.
All right then, mate. Well, listen, we'll leave it there, man. Thanks for coming on. Shame we lost Mark halfway through for some sort of
Yep.
excuse that he had to work or something. I don't know.
Bill, yeah,
Yeah,
learning how.
I think he just
To,
had enough
I
of
thought he could
listening
sail
to us.
ship.
But no,
he's
mate.
already a ship's driver, isn't he? He doesn't.
He was doing some sort of drill or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, it was great to have the final talk of the season, and you know, hopefully we can get back on again in the future.